But they should like.
And then you go. And you pull that off and you fill it with the.
But if you take a Rubik's cube, right, and you hold it next to your penis.
I don't have one. I don't have a Rubik's cube.
Oh. Okay, a Rubik's
or a penis.
A Rubik's dinky. If you hold a Rubik's cube next to your penis and you just take your phone and like move it all around, it should scan just fine. And then you can just send them the image and they can. Why don't you just print the shape of the penis you'd like to see going inside of your vagina?
Because those 3D printers are just they're not very strong. The home use ones, it's very fragile. You're gonna need to get like
You just make it thicker. What do you? I mean, if a solid plastic penis is your vagina's gonna destroy a solid plastic penis.
I don't know. I haven't tried.
It's not gonna happen. What if I decide to sell acoustics? Would you support me? Would you be on that? Would you get on that? Would you ride that shit?
Acoustic what?
An acoustic.
Oh.
It's an acoustic dick. It's just basically.
Aren't they all?
The balls.
I mean,
the balls are.
I have one friend who likes to electrify his, but.
No. Mate! The balls are bass speakers. And they send pounding like waves. So when you fuck yourself with it, the balls go over your clit like this your clit, and the balls are like this. Like this. And like, and they roll too.
Someone will buy that. It probably won't be me.
If you download your favorite music or your favorite bass line, like you can, no women fuck themselves to music.
I don't know.
That's why it's a stupid idea because nobody does that.
My favorite bass line isn't the same as my favorite fuck music. I mean,
would this work as a
although I'd still definitely get it on to Les Claypool, but you know those are kind of weird songs. Like,
would you fuck yourself with this? Like if it vibrated, would women ever do that? Like just kind of like hold, just like.
You'd have to do like market research, I would think. Only if it plays, he's got the whole world in his hands.
She. You know what? Did we talk about magic 8 balls last time? Because they're so important.
I don't remember if we talked about
this. Like the magic earth. Get it? The magic earth is coming. I'm just saying. No, it's not a sex toy. It's a piezoelectric self-charging device that you ask a question to, and it randomly goes to anyone else in the world who owns one, and then they have a queue of questions, like how many questions do you want to answer today? And when you say I'm open to answering questions, you get a notification.
It's already like a chat room thing where people give you about a bunch of like, I think that this is. It's like
it's much. It's.
How do vaginas work? Well, you have to like.
That's funny. I like it. It is like that. It's one of the aspects of it, but.
And the internet already has a thing like that. It's just not a little ball.
$19.99. Okay. It gives you $20 in stock in our company, and you can vote with it. It is.
And then I can just yell at people through it.
Fine.
If I could just be like,
if you have a connection with somebody,
if you have this somewhere and you ask a question like, would you support? Do you think this would make a good dildo? And I could just yell into the microphone on it. Shut up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or I could just yell.
No, if you're listening, if a question comes out of this, right?
That's redundant, arbitrary non sequitur.
All right. If this.
Did you get that for free somewhere today?
No, it was a dollar store. Dollar store.
Are you de-stressing?
No. Now you completely fucked me up here.
Put it right up your nose.
So if a question is asked and you don't like the question, you can pass, or you can say like if you the country you hate most, right? Say Uruguay, and you just like. I don't even know what that is, so it's fucking hilarious.
It's funny because that's probably one of the least hateable. What is there to hate about Uruguay?
I don't know. So and you can eliminate that person from your network, right? You can say, I never want to hear from them again. It's one of 7 billion people. If they ask a really shitty question, you're like, never ask me a question again.
That's already a thing.
No, but this is an actual, simple, physical device that actually feels like this. Catch it, okay? You can throw it. It's fine. That's how much it weighs.
Yeah.
And it self-charges, and it has the ability, it has to send its signals to cell towers.
If it only weighed this much and it was a digital device, I would have dropped it and broken it by now.
No, no, you can't break it. Unless you throw it at 200 miles an hour. In the center of here, there are 8 elastic cables that hold a computer in the center, like Donald Trump's brain inside of his skull.
Like that egg that we had to make for science class.
I think so.
Machine.
So as you move it, that thing is moved around, right? And there's a little piezo generator at each joint, at each point.
Those suck though.
What?
I have like a couple of flashlights that are supposed to work like that, and they really don't hold.
Light is a tremendous amount of power.
They don't charge very well.
This is like.
Yeah. And
enough
actually,
to.
they're kind of hilarious because you just look like you're jerking off the flashlight.
I mean, you can play catch with it.
There's
That
one with
works.
the crank that works better, but they still don't hold the charge well.
But I had one with the crank, a little red Duracell one, shitty. And if you cranked it hard, that thing shines.
That one.
Shone some very bright light.
No,
Do you know how easy it is to send 69 bytes to 3 cell signals, 3 cell towers? It's not that much.
Not a clue.
You can go when you're on your phone. You're sending millions of bytes in a phone call, right? And like right to the cell towers. And you have a battery that's only like this big. This,
Are they jalapeno cheese bites?
what it is, I think you need a bottle of jalapeno war. Shut the fuck
I
up.
like that one. Actually, I've had. There is some great.
Jalapeno greasy,
Pepper wine is really good. No, I
Is
like
it?
jalapeno noir. Yeah.
like habanero,
Habanero.
habanero. There's also M Stella Trois. M Stella Trois when you mix them. But seriously, this could make fucking millions, and you don't pay anything once it's done because it charges itself. They're absolutely guaranteed because they're not expensive. We're making millions of tiny Raspberry SAI computers.
I'm still not your target market audience. I'm not your target
No, you're not.
market.
Kids are. But it becomes a fad, and people want one because it allows them to connect. You can't use your phone. In fact, you can. You just get an app that has the world, and you can do the same thing. If you don't want to buy one, or when you buy one, it comes with an app, so you can use either one. But kids it's also a stress ball. You don't hurt the computer by squeezing it, right? Squeezing it is a way actually to create extra energy.
But if you squeeze it, that's going to screw up the rubber bands holding the.
No, it
stuff,
just
so
loosens
that'll-
them. It just loosens them temporarily on one side.
Okay, yeah.
It might not be 4 rubber bands. It might be 6.
I like this combination of Star Child versus Camp. It's like kind of hilarious. I would love to know the conversation.
I'd love to know what it is without having to hear it. I'd like a summary, like a tweet from Trump about that conversation. He's like, for the first time in my life, I'm afraid I've truly met common people, uncommonly common star children. So we can make it cheap. It's really cool. You are holding the world. There aren't a lot of good globes, and we have 6 globes. I've told you about the other ones. But you know what the best, you know what you like most? Maybe you don't. The globe, GLOWB. It's our nightlight globe. When you walk into your room, it's on a stand that's weighted with water. You either hit it and you spin it, and that charges it enough to give like an LED nightlight blue glow, or you can punch it if you want. Either way, this has a little piezo, like a $2 Chinese piezo generator here, and the turning part, and they both will feed energy to a capacitor, which is only holding enough light, enough power for 5 minutes of one bright LED. It's not a lot of power, and it's not a battery. There's no.
lights in general.
It's inside of a globe though. Fine, but it's the power.
Light globe.
You have to plug that in though.
I could make this up.
Well, ours you don't have to plug in.
I could solar charge it.
A kid having a freestanding boxing earth
Boxing it up.
that also will, like you mentioned, the kid is both toughening himself up by practicing punching, but he's still afraid of the dark. That's our Venn diagram. Are you afraid of the dark, and do you want to punch things? Like in the dark.
Keep punching until the light comes.
I mean, it's
back.
funny, like it's faded. Like
That
you
would
realize that you like this before you go pee.
That would hardwire your brain to like have a weird instinct for you have to punch things to make the light come on so the monsters don't catch you.
Well, then it also convinces you to assault the
What
earth.
is this over here? You've got like
That's a battery. That is not self-powered. You know what would power this? There's got to be somebody somewhere. What are those things? The things that kids can run, like run in a circle and
strap it to
spin.
Eric where he walks up and down.
No.
They do have like a thing where you can just strap it to your leg and the action of walking charges it for camping, or a washing machine that straps to your leg and the action of walking.
Kind of listening. I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying.
No, it's okay.
I'm also waiting to talk.
I know. They do have a bunch of things though that are for like camping people.
8 notifications. Oh God. I'm getting some likes on my posts. Common sense. It's like this guy who does a podcast. He used to do this amazing history podcast, and now he talks about regular shit. And there's a group with 12,000 people who have there's some intelligence there.
Why are you so fixated on the?
Bah!
Why are you fixated on the globe theme?
Okay,
today?
wait.
Is it just because you have that with you, or?
It's part of it. So what you can do actually, there's another version of it, right? There's a version of it that's literally a water bottle. It actually is filled with water, but when you drink it, you can drink out of it, but then you actually have to blow back in, so it maintains its shape. So it can either be heavy and you can.
They don't make liquid bottles round round all the way around. Like even like the Chambrade bottle, it's got
What?
it's flat on the bottom because otherwise your bottle would roll away.
You don't put it down like that. Oh, it does have the little nozzle. Actually, you put down on dirty surfaces.
Well, you might. That's your nozzle to do with as you please. Put it on all the dirty surfaces you want.
All condiments should be held upside down in the format of a rocket with fins to protect the.
That's fine. That is for condiments, yes.
What's gonna sell better though? Hot sauce rockets,
Yes.
or hot sauce that are shaped like Satan and spit out of his mouth?
Hot sauce rockets.
Rockets.
Rockets for the win.
Because if you shake those up and they charge, and it's just pressure, right? It's not electricity.
Why do I need to charge my hot sauce?
Well, because when you press the button to launch, you want the hot sauce, because some people have thicker hot sauce. For Tabasco, you don't need it. It'll just spray it on, right? It'll miss Tabasco. But a heavier hot sauce, you need to send through a blender. So when you create the power in it, when you release that power, the air goes through
a simple mechanism that doesn't require electricity that you could use.
It's not electricity. It's just pressure. It's a shake up, like you shake your condiments, right? You do this with ketchup. We just say pre-shake it, and it's always funny at the dinner table when somebody's going like this, and it whistles when it's too full.
How
It has a release valve.
Oh, the pressure.
Yeah, but the devil one does the same thing. You jerk off the devil,
I think
and then
the
he.
devil shoots steam out his. He'd be better for like a coffee pot where he like shoots like steam out his ears or something.
You're like a mayonnaise peanut shooter. Like someone will repurpose one of our dildos and. I mean, it's like,
You
listen.
already have a mayonnaise peanut
be-
shooter
be-
dildo
be-
thing.
it's not mayonnaise. It's mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
How you been?
Good.
You just hate Virtue Earth.
I went.
Magic Earth, sorry, I call
We
it the wrong
got
name.
some fun things from the pickle punk guy at the festival. Have you seen his art? It's like, he'll take like all the typical monster creatures like Mothman or the Swamp Monster and Dracula, and makes them just really adorable little drawings. Like, oh, if it was baby Dracula, they're cute.
All right, did he do Little Hitler?
I don't think so. Not human monsters, mythological monsters.
I don't think he was a monster originally.
Probably not. He was an art major.
He-
Probably just pretentious and full of himself.
I want to like write a kids series called Little Hitler, and it's all about this kid that was totally normal. He was a kid.
Do they
There's
have
no
brain
indication.
wear
No,
questions?
no,
Do you
no,
know?
no, no.
They have
The
pickles in a
Russians
jar?
burned him up. So I think they burned him up.
See, you know what would be interesting to see?
Him suspended like Han Solo, Hitler Solo, Hans Adolf.
No, it'd be interesting
Hansler.
to see if there was anything amiss, like other than the obvious, like if he had a tumor in a bad place in his brain, or if he
Yeah, we didn't
had
find
had
that
an
out.
aneurysm or something. Because you know how like if you have an aneurysm or you have a stroke, you're more likely just to not give a shit and be an asshole to people and just be like fuck. And then I have a friend who I met post-op. He had an operation because he said when he was normal for a while, and then when he was in high school, he started getting really nasty and violent to everybody and just was angry all the time. And it turned out that he had a tumor pushing on something having to do with like around like the testosterone part of the brain or something.
Right.
They took the tumor out. He's like, I've been much happier and not an asshole since I'm not angry all the time anymore
Right.
after they took the tumor out. So it's interesting, like what.
I
can be
don't think we'll
done
never
in
know.
your
We'll
brain.
never know
Like,
on
yeah,
him.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he.
Not to absolve him of anything, but it would be really interesting to see.
Well, the sum of him, he did it, but he did suffer in a chemical attack, I think, and I think he went through a period when maybe he couldn't even see for a little while, and in the World War One, like before when he was just like a nothing. I mean, he's always a nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing that was very good at killing huge numbers of people, but I think that's part of it. I think being hit by chemical weapons and being Hitlered by chemical weapons was one of the straws. It wasn't the last straw, but I think if you removed even a couple of those straws, he wouldn't have become him, you know? But I think as a kid, he probably wasn't inherently evil at all. I think you could tell a story about his life and not once give an indication that he would become a genocidal maniac.
Yeah.
And be like, listen, the issue is something happened to him. I'm not saying there couldn't be people whose DNA has been struck by Higgs boson particles and is completely twisted and like they want to eat us. Like, You know, like their DNA says you
I don't
must
know anyone like that.
eat people.
No, I don't know anyone that has to eat people to survive. I don't know anyone. Why are you
I think
mentioning
the
it?
ideal torture is just putting someone in a room with like robot surgeons and a meat slicer, and you just say to them, "You need to eat yourself. Like, you have water, but you can slice off part of your leg with a laser blade. It'll cook and cauterize the meat, so you just eat strips of your leg until your legs are gone, and you cut until your arms are gone. And the robots heal you each time, and then you're left with no arms and no legs. And what parts do you cut off next?
I feel like there's at least
Your penis goes.
I feel like there's ears first, outside ears,
Ears.
unnecessary cartilage. But no, I feel like
Your nose,
I
probably
feel
in
like
a.
there's a 30% of the population at least that would just go, I'm going to use this to kill myself because I'm not going to do this.
No,
This
they
is
can't.
ridiculous.
They just die. They have to starve themselves. If they get hungry, they either ask for food,
But you have
or
to,
they starve to death. But most people couldn't starve to death.
why would if you can pick which part at a time you want to go with,
Oh no, you can't.
you can trick the
No, it has
robot.
no. You can't do vital organs.
but you-
Until it's like you can't move into checkmate.
You just kill yourself.
No, you can't. You can't.
How? Why can't
Well, by the time you decide to, you have no arms and legs. The robots are
No,
not
what if you
allowed.
what if you go out, this is a stupid situation, I'm just going to kill myself now?
Oh, you're tied down the whole time. All you can, like, you're tied on a table. You can't move. You're not tied on a table. You're held onto a table by suction. There's 1,000 holes
yeah.
with suction, so you can
Yeah.
never move.
Yeah.
You just say, why don't you just say the name of the movie you'd like to see? And then you tell the robots, they cut it off, and then they feed you. But you can't move. You have to live.
What if you just don't open your mouth?
And
Then the robots are obviously the robots are also You and your weird post-apocalyptic. It's not even post-apocalyptic.
it's
just
not
you,
Saw.
just
It's like
you-
Saw, but like laser.
just
It's like
you
Laser
coming up
Saw.
with weird stuff.
Well, it's a commercial for Laser Philly cheesesteak makers. It's our franchise where it's light fried steak. We make horror
okay
movies.
with
Like
that.
great advertising, horror
Yeah.
movies about people eating themselves. Like, where would you rather go?
That was always my thing with jigsaws was you can really take off like a finger pretty good with a jigsaw and bleed. And if jigsaws were lasers, you could manipulate the wood through the saw much easier because the jigsaw just has the blade on the one side and
Right.
so sometimes you're sawing and you try to like
You have
make
to
it
turn
curve.
it. You can go in
When-
any direction with a laser
well,
blade.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about that awkwardness of trying to like get the curve.
And
And,
it-
if you accidentally cut your finger off, it's automatically cauterized. But that might be too hard to sew back on.
And if you're in a smart society, you probably have beautiful workshops and invention facilities and toy libraries in the center of town or in some part of town where when you want to work with a fucking saw, you like go to the workshop where 1,000 people share 10 fucking amazing saws instead of having a shitty one that's going to cut your finger off. And a laser blade could be afforded by that community.
Yeah.
A community of 10,000 people could probably get by with one jigsaw like you're thinking,
Yeah.
right? Because it would be so fast. And then you'd add like 3D printing, like XY axis, and you just tell the printer what to cut for you. If you wanted to do artistic work, fine. But if people are waiting in line to have shit cut, like they got orders for products around the world, like listen, you can't do art right now. We have to pay for our city first, right? Like art is great. Art comes after we eat, and have water and sleep and are trying to fuck with injustice. Like art is great if it's in pursuit of something. Most of it's
'cause
cathartic and
sometimes art is the weird way that you find the new thing that works better. But yeah,
I mean, creativity and art are not
yeah,
totally overlapped. Like
no, not all. Frequently
a
not.
lot of things that can be creative, I would not call them art. Oh,
Well, I have to go finish running an errand. I meant to pick up toilet paper while I was out before and did not do that. So
I recently bought a 12-pack from Wegmans. Thought I totally didn't have any. Bought another pack, and then now I have two. I have like 20 left.
now I can build a castle.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Dude, I have these big boxes in my house, like 13 of them. My bed is on top of them. I have a box spring. It's made up of boxes. It doesn't really spring, but my kids can actually hang out under my bed. And I would definitely live in a house of just identical building blocks. If they were toilet paper, like if it was like a waterproof waxed toilet paper or paper towel box, fine. I would do that shit.
Oh, the box. I was gonna say waterproof wax toilet paper is not gonna do the
But I mean, if it was bulk, right? If it was like 16, like about, the Bounty, if it was one of those, I'd be like, all right, make it nice and include one nice magnet in the box. So when I put this box on top of this box, it'll so it'll help hold my house together a little bit. I would live inside of toilet paper. Pretty decent insulation, right?
I would think, sort of. Yeah, because there'd be air spaces where the tubes are. to make air spaces and air
But even
spaces
just
equals-
solid paper wall wouldn't be that bad, would it? Like if your wall was just paper.
I haven't lived in Japan, so I don't know.
Well, they're like paper thin. I mean, like a book full of paper.
Well, that's why I put all my bookshelves along the wall.
Can
I
you
gotta
get,
go run
wait?
my kids'
Give me
say
give,
hey,
give me one idea, okay?
Okay, one idea.
Yeah.
For
A couch or a piece of a couch. Okay, we have a couch. I call it a book couch right now, right? So it's like this. This is your fancy couch in your living room, right? So this is for the parents. When the kids want to use it, you take the fancy top, right? It's like a book. So you open this up and you fold it against the other. So the fancy part goes like this, closed, sealed.
Oh, okay.
So the next seat is like a kid's seat, and it's lower to the ground, and it's this way, right? Because you're removing ass
That's actually
cushion.
great, a reversible couch so that your kids can get on it and mess the hell out of it while they're eating.
What's the third page? In your, like, now you take the kid's seat and you move it up. Like what?
I don't know. I mean, I would assume I like craftsman style stuff, so I would just have it. I would have storage underneath. But if I had to have
Oh, I thought you meant like,
maybe like a massage bed,
why not like,
like
why not?
a heatable thing.
Why not?
Heating, cooling.
That could be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Like a bacon vice for children,
Yeah, bacon device. Yeah.
like a George Foreman child fryer.
You're just all about eating people today.
But like
But well cooked, not raw. They have
Well,
to be cooked, obviously.
he's done, well done. I think the third one, like the kid one, would be pretty like waterproof and shit. But I think the third one would be like a painting, an artistic one, where it was even more like not just waterproof but stain proof. Like you'd have anything, markers and paints and all that shit, and they would snap into the top. I think you could. The thing is, if you build the right frame, you could have any pages you want, right? It's basically a bench with fucking a bunch of pages in it.
I think hockey wants to play hacky. So
Oh shit. Fuck, now I want to play hockey bad. Bunch of fucking
it's
healthy
funny
20-year-old kids are going to walk out of
it's
here.
Funny, there was an older guy hanging out playing, and he said he was a hockey player.
I'm serious. You've killed me here. I got 11 comments on Facebook that I now got to deal with, and I've been putting up a lot of shit. Well, they're probably like, oh, Alex, you got no, like, it'll take 10 minutes. Oh, you got no response? Fuck you.
What?